Hello, all you spirit junkies and sacred rebels. My name is Kristen Brown. I'm a spiritual and empowerment coach and mentor. And today I want to talk to you guys about how to ask for signs from the universe the correct way. Now, this might be a little controversial because there's so much out in the world right now that says to ask for signs this way, which is ask for a sign, say, universe, is this is the right thing I should do, then show me a blue butterfly or show me a red Volkswagen bug. But there's a little flaw in that I don't see a lot of people talking about right now. So I wanted to bring this to your awareness. And I also want to give you what I believe is the best way to ask for signs and guidance from the universe. So we have this little thing inside of our brain, and it's called the reticular activating system, RAS for short. And what it does is once we bring something into its awareness, what it'll do is scan our environment to find that thing. So we're actually alerting our brain to be on the lookout for something. So if we start saying we want to see a blue butterfly, we're going to start seeing blue butterflies everywhere. Now, the thing is with the RAS system is that many times we're going to see things that we normally wouldn't see. For example, recently my son is in the market for a new vehicle. We've been talking about this now for about 2 or 3 weeks. And guess what I'm seeing everywhere? That vehicle. Everywhere I go, every time I'm out on the road, I'm seeing it. There it is, there it is, there it is, there. And was I noticing that before? No. I'm noticing it now because it's become into the forefront of my consciousness. So the problem with this is because of the reticular activating system, if we say, I want this particular sign, you're going to probably see that particular sign, but that is because of the way the brain works. It's not necessarily coming from spirit. And therefore, you could be getting a false positive or a false negative. So I want to share with you guys what I have learned and what I now implement in my life to receive guidance. So first, it's super important to know that the universe, the quantum field, is infinite intelligence. We're talking infinite, not a little bit, not finite, not just kind of, not 90%. It is infinite intelligence. It is the quantum field. It is far beyond our reaches of our imagination. We can't even wrap our head around our little human brain around what it is. Not only that, it holds all potentials and possibilities. It's all there. And everything we want has a particular path that will lead us to that based on our own experience, where we are at in our mind, body, and spirit, and the programming that we've had in the past. So spirit, universe, source, whatever you choose to call it, knows all the information. I found the best thing to do is to ask for guidance. I will say, God, source, universe, please guide me. I don't know what to do. I don't know what my next best step is. So please guide me. Show me how. Give me a sign. And now when I do that, I am letting it up to the universe to know what sign is going to resonate with me. What sign is going to make me go, Now, our signs that come for us in particular individually may not make sense to somebody else. Have you ever had a sign? And put this down in comments below if you've had. You ever got a sign, you're like, oh my gosh, you guys, this is a sign. Like, this is my sign. And people are like, oh, okay, your fork was on the left side of the plate instead of the right side of the plate. And you're like, you don't know, because they don't know. So this is purely you. You're on this individual spiritual journey, and you need to be willing to trust yourself and the signs that come for you. I want to give you 2 examples of how this had happened for me. These are pretty compelling, and they just make me smile because I know that I'm being guided. And that's another point I want to say real quick, is that when you notice these things coming in, thank universe, thank God, say thank you, thank you, thank you, I receive. Because that thank you is the most opening and abundant prayer that we can give the universe. In fact, I've heard it said by many spiritual mentors, it's the only prayer. Just thank you. So be sure to thank the universe, because you're saying more of this, please. I'm open to this and I'm welcoming this. So when I was going through a really difficult divorce court case with my tsunami ex, I talk all about that story in my latest book, the international #1 bestseller, The Recovering People Pleaser, a spiritual guide to reclaim your true worth and attract the love you deserve. I will put the link up here and also in the description. So if you guys are interested in that, the whole story's in there. And we were going through this just horrific court case. And of course, we were not agreeing with anything. But in the process of this, I was really open, because I'm a super spiritual person and I really do my best to not control, to not think that I know best. And I opened up my heart and mind and I said, God, source, spirit, I want the best outcome for everyone involved, for all parties, the best possible outcome. And then I did my very best to let go. So when my attorney would call me and she would say, okay, well, do you want to do this or do you want to do this? And I would say, I'm not really sure what I need to do. Let me think about it. But I wasn't thinking about it. What I was doing was putting it out into the universe and saying, please guide me. Please show me which direction to go and make it obvious. Now, I said this a lot to Spirit, and don't be afraid to say this. Talk to Spirit, God, Source, exactly what you need. I would say, listen, I am really overwhelmed right now. I have anxiety, all the things. And I would say, I need this to be obvious, like really in my face. So that is what would happen. But anytime I had this choice, if I was leaning towards a particular side, like, okay, I think I'm going to make this decision, then somehow, some way, I would hear Viva La Vida by Coldplay. Because for some reason, that song, sort of the storyline in that song sort of reminded me of my Tsunami ex. So I would hear that song like out of the blue. And this doesn't mean it was coming across on my settings on my phone or on my iPod back in the day, or any of those type of things. It was literally coming at a grocery store. I'd walk into a fuel station, or I could be at somebody's house, or it would come on at work, or somebody would have it playing on their phone. I mean, it would just come out of nowhere. When it would happen, I would just take notice and be like, I hear that. And then I would get very quiet and say, does that feel right to me? And that was always my sign that the place I was leaning towards was correct. The second story that I want to share with you, this just happened recently, probably about 3 months ago. My husband and I were in the car driving. He was driving. I was in the passenger seat. And I was just going off about something that I was feeling. And I was staring off into space. I was not watching the road. I said to him, gosh, you know what? I feel like I just need to slow down. Like that's just what it's just coming forth for me. I just need to slow down. Right then, his hand comes across my face and he points. And I look out the window, and right there is this massive roadside, big red sign with white letters that said, slow down. Literally seconds after that came out of my mouth. And I just looked at him. I was like, well, if that ain't a sign, I don't know what is. So these are the type of signs that I would like you to be looking for, that I'm really going to encourage you and invite you to look for. Ask for signs. Don't say it needs to be this or it needs to be that, because there's a chance that you can activate the RAS. And then what? Right? You're just going to be back at square one, more confused, not understanding where you should go, or you start to act on a false positive or a false negative. Ask universe for signs. Be open and willing for them to come. If you need to, say, make it in my face. Make it pretty bold, because our signs can come in all types of ways. It comes from the words out of people's mouths. It can come from a book we're reading. It can come from a song on the radio, something we're watching on TV. My signs came all the time to me. And because I was in a quiet space, I would know the second that thing came on, I was like, that's it. I would just know. So I want you to get really good at this too, because I want you to have the best possible life, because you are a child of God. You are spirit in an earth suit. You are a divine spark of infinite intelligence. You're being guided just like I am. And the last thing I'm going to say is, God didn't come to a slow roll and throw us off the bus and say, yeah, good luck. See you after a while. I know it's really chaotic and scary down there, but I'll see you when you get home. God said, here you go. But you're going to have all of these gifts and all these connections to God to guide you. Utilize your spiritual and divine gifts. If y'all got a lot from this today, I'd super appreciate it if you give me a little boop on the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And I love your comments. I love reading your comments. So please comment below. Also share with someone that you love or think would benefit from this. And if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, maybe to enhance your spiritual abilities, that is like my complete wheelhouse. I've been doing this type of stuff since I was around 7 years old. So feel free to reach out to me, and I'll put the link here as well. So as always, everyone, remember, you matter. Now go love yourself.